Hey, what's up guys, it's Graphic Phoenix back with another video today, and today we're going to be doing an update on my isopod and springtail cultures. I know it's been a really long time, like I think probably almost a year and a half since I've actually made a video about them, or about a year. I can't remember the exact time, but that's what we're going to do today, is we're just going to go through all my different isopods and springtails and check them out, see how they're doing. Before we get on to the isopods, I just wanted to say that if you guys are interested in joining me on Instagram or my Facebook page, the link is in the description as well as somewhere on screen here. So with that being said, make sure you shoot me a follow. Enough of my blabbling, let's update the isopods. So first off, we're actually going to update the springtails. I know this is kind of something that people are interested in, I guess, but this is actually the food that I feed them. This is my own homemade stuff. It's got a lot of different ingredients in there. It's not necessary for your springtails to have such a crazy varied diet, but this has like insane amounts of things in it. I would show you guys how I make it and everything, but I made so much of it last time that'll probably be another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. I don't know how long until I actually make more. When that time comes, I'll definitely show you how I make it though. I keep them on this tray of diatomaceous earth because this stuff kills mites, so it prevents mites from getting into any of your cultures. Before, I used to have a really big issue with mites sneaking and actually dropping from above a shelf onto my cultures and then infecting them and basically killing all the springtails. These are the first species of springtails that I have. They're called gray springtails. They're quite huge, honestly, like their size of the isopods. They're about as long as the isopods. They're quite large. I don't currently have these in any of my tanks, but I do have a nice big culture of them, and they are doing really well. I'm not sure how they'll do in a tank. I assume pretty darn good, just because they are doing so well here. But I will be seeding some of my tanks with these pretty soon. I'm just waiting for the colony to get big enough. They seem to be doing really good, and this is a new addition that I've had, I think, since the last time I made an update. The other two cultures of springtails are just that. They're just cultures of springtails. So you guys can see them all in here. You can see how the ground is moving. So these guys are a lot smaller, and they reproduce quite fast. And just because we've already gone through those springtails, this is the same idea. This is just another smaller culture of springtails. They're being cultured on charcoal, lump charcoal, that I broke up and boiled. I have a very large sized salt shaker, and it's actually for sprinkling like chili flakes and stuff like that. But you can see exactly what I do and how much I feed them. I do that probably once a week or so. If you overfeed them, you'll get these little white worms that will actually suffocate and kill your culture. So make sure you're being careful, and you know just how much you're feeding and just how much they can eat in a given amount of time. Now that we're moving on to the isopods, I will show you guys exactly what I feed them. I feed them pretty much only this stuff, the Custodian Fuel by Arcadia. It is incredible. It's filled with a bunch of ingredients. There is yeast, calcium, oat flour, wheat flour, carrot powder, green pea powder, and mushroom powder and spirulina in here. So there is a ton of different nutrients in this specifically. If you guys are in, well, anywhere, you guys can order this stuff through Reptiles Are Us. Not a sponsored video or anything. I just know Keith, and he's a great guy. He does have this. I'm not sure if it's in stock right now, but if it is, make sure you pick some up and start feeding your stuff with that. You can also feed them occasionally with stuff like zucchini. You can do carrots. You can do squash. I've done all of that stuff, and I vary it probably month to month. So these are my curly isopods, because these guys are the species that will actually like roll into a ball when they're scared. See, there's a couple on there. There's a bunch down there as well. So these guys are doing really well. Originally I bought, I think, how many did I buy? 35 of these guys to start, and now they're duplicating, and well, not duplicating, they're breeding and going really strong, as you can see. Care for these guys is really quite easy. I just sprayed both sides of the cage. You want to keep that humidity relatively high. It doesn't have to be super high, but in the, I don't know, 50s, 60s, something like that. And the soil should be not sopping wet, but not completely dry either. And then to feed them, I have a couple of the Arcadia pellets in here. I'm not going to give them all of these. I'll drop one in there. I'll throw one under here. And I'll throw one under the leaf litter as well. And that's all there is to it. Taking care of these guys is super, super easy. You can come down here to the, I guess, secondary isopod cultures that I made. And then these guys, these are some of the coolest isopod, well, definitely the coolest isopods I own. These are the zebra isopods. So these guys are quite rare in Canada, honestly. And they're really cool. These guys are honestly more pets than anything. They're not really for my vivariums at all. I wouldn't really even think to put these guys in my vivariums, just because, I mean, look at those things. They're so cool. They're in this tray of diatomaceous earth, once again, because they actually did have mites in them. I haven't seen any mites for quite some time, so I'm hoping that it's more or less gone. But yeah, you can just see this is kind of the setup that I have for them in this tray. These two here are actually, they go on top of the Dendrobates auratus enclosure. I don't know the species of these, but they are super, super cool. I'll try and get a little bit of a shot for you guys. Super cool. They're pretty fast, but they are really, really cool. So yeah, these guys are really cool. I'm super stoked with these. My buddy gave them to me, and they're doing really well. I'm pretty sure he told me the species name, but I totally forgot it, so whoops. There you go, you guys can see that. Look how cool they are. They're just like a stealth gray color. Really, really nice. But I think I only have 2 of them, so I don't really know if they're going to breed or anything like that, but here's hoping. There he is, coming out, walking around, saying what the hell. Those guys are really cool. I think those are Porcillo scaber, I think. I don't know. And then these are the Trachylepis rathkai. These guys are super, super cool, once again. These guys have mixed in with the white dwarf isopods because, I don't know. That's just where they want it to be, so that's where I put them. What I'm actually going to do now is show you guys, after I'm done feeding everybody else, I'll show you guys the update on the 2 big tubs here. I don't want this video to be too long, so I will come back when we're at that point. This is the dwarf brown isopod, I guess, crew. I'm not sure what you want to call it, culture, I guess. But this one actually has some sort of, well, you guys can check it out here. I'll give you a nice close-up look of it. But it's basically a fungus, I think. I don't really know what it is. It just happened to be in this culture and has not gone away. So, I don't know. It doesn't seem to really affect the animals at all, so I'm not too worried about it. But, yeah, it is a little bit annoying, because I'm a little skeptical to start seeding from this culture simply because of the fact that it's covered in this fungus, and I really don't want that to get into any of my vivariums. So I don't know if any of you guys have any idea what this thing is and what it can do or what it does or why it's here. That would be ideal. This culture is doing really, really, really well, though. Like, super, super well. I'm very, very pleased. There's probably, 1,000 in there, I don't know, more. There's a ton in this culture specifically. They're doing great. No complaints there. These are the dwarf white isopods, and as you can tell, this is much more of a subterranean species. They don't really come out to the surface all that often. You'll find them under all the leaf litter and that kind of stuff. As you can see, they're just all hiding amongst the leaf litter, so I'm actually going to throw more in there. You can see this one, I feed them a little bit differently. I actually press it into the soil just for them to actually get to. They're set up here, very similar substrate, coconut core with coconut husk mix in, a couple oak leaves, so calcium, some calcium here. You can just break it up. This is actually a cuttle bone, for those of you that don't know what it is. That is the update on the isopod cultures. They're super chill, really awesome, great for your vivarium. If you can find some of the designer ones, they're definitely not for everybody, but I mean, to me, they're really, really cool, so I strongly recommend picking some up, trying to find some different species. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the update. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything that you want to see, make sure you drop a comment down below. If you liked what you see and you want to see more vivarium builds, reptile videos, as well as plant videos, definitely click that subscribe button and play Ding Dong Ditch with the doorbell next to it. That way you'll be notified every time I go live or post a video. And if you like this video, make sure to drop a like on the video. Once again, I'll mention my Facebook and Instagram. Go check those out. You can find them in the little Show More tab down below, so make sure you click that and go there. I hope you guys had a great evening, morning, night, wherever you are in the world. Have a good one, guys. Graphic Phoenix, out of here.